All right, video number 2. So for this assignment, I chose manganese Shino number 3. What I want you guys to do first is go to your glaze that you picked out on glazy.org, and I'm going to walk you through this. First step, you're going to be collecting a bunch of pictures. I want you to collect the picture of your glaze that you chose. I want you to take a screenshot of what the recipe is. If you don't know how to do that, I'll tell you in a second. And then I want you guys to individually click on each ingredient and take either a screenshot of that or drag and drop to your desktop. So I have manganese Shino number 3. I'm going to bring that to my desktop. Or again, you can take a screenshot. Whatever you prefer to give me these images, because we're going to be compiling them in our Capwing profile and a little bit of what each chemical component does. Again, like I said, it's busy work, but it's simple stuff that breaks it down in common language of what makes up this glaze and actually what each chemical component does for that glaze recipe. So one more time before we move on to step 2, you need the photo of your chosen glaze. If you cannot find it on glazy.org, you can Google it too. It can be used on a different kind of vessel that an artist used. Be resourceful. You can use Google Images. You do not have to use the images that glazy.com provides you. The best way I think to organize this while I'm collecting all my photos is I just made a Glazy GIF folder on my desktop. I'm just going to throw these out. My desktop's a mess. And if you could see here, so some of them look pretty much like different variations of drugs. I realize that. But as I was collecting my different ingredients and taking screenshots and pulling them, I was labeling the images so I knew exactly what it was. You can see, for example, dolomite looks pretty similar to EP kaolin, so in this folder I can grab and drag and drop before I move on to the next step. Step number 2, once I've collected all my images that make up my chosen glaze, I'm going to individually click on each one. I've by now taken the picture of what it looks like. It doesn't look like much. But then I'm going to go in and look at this write-up here and figure out exactly what this chemical does for my glaze. So you can see here the chemical breakdown. None of us are chemists, but I want you to dig through here. Where is 2 to 3 words of what your chemical does and what each chemical does? The way to organize this is I listed all of my ingredients in a Word document, or you can use Keynote or Notepad, whatever. And then in there, after my research, I just copy and pasted what each one does after I've given it a little bit of a once-over of that write-up. So this nepheline cyanite deflocculates clay and glazes. So you're going to search through here. Again, a little bit of busy work. And then copy and paste that. I don't need a whole write-up like this gives you here, but you could see, oh, bam. That's my answer. Some of these profiles that you'll run into are not as thorough as others. Again, use Google and be resourceful. If glazy.org, which is a very thorough website, as you're going to come to find out, does not exactly tell you kind of obviously what each chemical does, just Google it. What does nepheline cyanite do in a glaze recipe? I'm sorry. Again, this takes a little bit of time because you're sifting through the language that glazy.org has put together for you. But I have all of my photos in my little folder here, and then I threw up a Word document so I can copy and paste this for the third step. So take your time with this. You can see mine, EP kaolin. What does that do? It helps suspend the non-clay particles. A lot of you guys are going to have the same type of ingredients, you'll notice. Cobalt carbonate just colorant. Spanish red iron oxide, just a colorant. But instead of going so much back and forth, I want you guys to organize it similar to what I did here. I found it the easiest. Moving on, after you've made your capwing.com profile, we're going to now go into how I want you guys to approach your final research project in a way. Okay, so new project. You're going to click Start with Studio. It's going to bring you to this page. Because we organized it in a folder, you're going to say click to upload. If you get the gist of this, you don't have to watch this part, but there are some specifics, so don't totally nix out the rest of this video. So I'm going to start with what my glaze is. I'm going to say open. It's going to upload it. This is where I want you to add your text. I want you to label what your glaze is. Here I want you to have fun with it on the side. You can pick your typeface. You can pick bold, italicized colors, all that. What's fun about this is you can press animate. There's my header. Say, oh, I want to have it vibrate, wipe, flicker, hue, rotate. Doesn't matter to me. I want you guys to have fun with it. So I'm going to stick with this one. I'm going to say done. You guys, just like a PowerPoint, are going to continue to add scenes for each picture you've collected. Once I'm satisfied with this, I'm going to move on to the next one. I want your slides all to be a minimum of 3 seconds long. If it's any sooner or less than that, it's very hard to read. You can adjust that by clicking up here. I can go back real quick. Clicking these 3 lines. And then you adjust it right here. It's very user-friendly. I'm just going to walk through with this so I don't give this to you and say, okay, go. I think it reminds me of iMovie too. Okay, so here I have my new slide, just like PowerPoint. I want to upload the recipe before I even get into what each ingredient does. So blank slide, press images, upload. And there's that screenshot I took of what makes up my chosen glaze. And I'm going to say open. You can add whatever text you want, saying what the recipe is. You can add any little fun, let's see, get out of here. Any fun shapes. Audio you can add, it's not a requirement, and text. But initially, your glaze that you chose, a photo of it has to come first. Then what has to come second is the recipe. And then from here on out are the photos you took of each of the ingredients that make up it. One more time, I'm going to go into images and get started. Upload. Doesn't matter what order they're in, they're all labeled nicely. So I'm going to grab ball clay first, photo of it. These, from here on out, have to have text in them because, again, a lot of these look like different versions of drugs or whatever. And I'm not going to know what they are, what they is. And you're going to label that. You can pick your typeface. You can animate it however you want. I do want some animation here to bring these GIFs alive a little bit. I'm going to say, all right, ball clay, I'll move you to the top. Fine with that. And then I'll probably add a different text. And I have to say what ball clay does. Since I organized everything in here, then I can copy and paste. All right, ball clay. It's utilized for their plasticity and bonding properties. Oops, my text box went away. Have some fun with this. Don't randomly place it so I can't really see the photo too well. Pick text or typeface that's easy to read. You can have fun but still be tasteful about what information gets translated to the viewer easier. Don't overload it. Comic Sans is a terrible typeface. I really advise you not to use it. Also Papyrus. Please stay away from Papyrus. It's overused. Be more tasteful about it. Okay, so you're going to do that for each of your ingredient. I want to show you what a finished product that I made for this assignment looks like. So I have manganese shino number 3, add a little animation. What's the recipe? There it is listed, and then we go through. Deflocculates clay and glazes. EP kaolin helps suspend the clay, non-clay particles. Suptamine reduces thermal expansion. Cobalt carbonate is a colorant. I didn't obviously do all of my ingredients. I think you guys get the gist of this. Going back to this example one. Let's say I finished the assignment. I'm going to say publish. This whole thing takes a while. It's doing all the code. When it's done uploading, that's when you can download it to your desktop. You can share it to Facebook, Instagram. I'm assuming all of you know how that works once you make an MP4 file or a Giphy file. It's then I want you guys to email me this video short you created. And the purpose of this video in conclusion is to really just get you guys, again, without writing a very thorough paper on glazes, is just to get you guys to understand what each ingredient does and what these big words mean. The ingredients are listed on the side of our buckets in the studio, so it gives it a little bit more of a common kind of language. And actually, for some of you guys, I made you create a website for some of my advanced classes. These are kind of just fun things to post to your personal blog and our website. Gives a little bit of a background to what kind of glaze you like as an artist, and then a breakdown for somebody navigating through your site that doesn't know anything about ceramics or clay. Oh, that's what it does, and it still leaves a little bit of an opening for people to understand the breakdown instead of these kind of bigger bigger chemistry-based words. Again, so the requirements, you do need a photo of your initial glaze, this one right here, the recipe, and then a breakdown of each photo of each ingredient, saying what it is and what it does in 2 or 3 words, just like I have listed here. Each of your slides should be no less than 3 seconds long in length. You can add other slides if you want with animation or text or images to enhance this. Mine's pretty boring actually, so I do want you guys to have some fun with this. This is our final project, so this is going to be due either if you're in my Wednesday or Thursday class. So if you are in my Wednesday class, this final project is due April 22nd at 11:59 p.m. If you are in my Thursdays classes this semester, it's due April 23rd. That's finals week. So today is Easter. I'm recording this. I'm probably going to send this out tomorrow. You guys get a little over a week to complete this. Does not take too long once you get rolling with back and forth and tabs and switching to your folders and collecting your images. But this is our final project. It's worth 200 points, so please turn in something so the grade does not get affected. Easy points, so let's keep your grades up while still maintaining some level of research on this, but it's a little bit more fun and I think personally up to date.